Welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a deep dive into one of the most overlooked yet rapidly evolving developments in the crypto space. What's really happening with ICP right now? While most investors are distracted by hype tokens, rumors, and short-lived narratives, ICP is showing a combination of technical indicators, social momentum, and real-world utility that rarely appear together. These aren't random signals. They point to a moment where the market could be preparing for a major shift. And because the internet computer behaves very differently from most blockchains, understanding this setup could give you a serious advantage. So grab your seat, because we're about to break down everything happening with whale movement, staking behavior, technical formations, on-chain fundamentals, and adoption signals that are pointing towards something big. This video is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not financial advice. Always do your own research and consult a professional before making any investment decisions. Let's start with the most eye-opening development: the strange contrast between whale activity and long-term holder behavior. Recent analytics shared across social platforms show that two things are rising at the same time: the amount of ICP held by humpback-level whales and the amount of ICP sitting on exchanges. On top of that, daily exchange trading volume has spiked to between 7 and 10 times the usual levels. Now, if you're a trader, the first instinct would be to assume this is bearish. More supply on exchanges normally means more selling pressure. It suggests traders are preparing to unload positions. But here's where the story takes a sharp turn. While whales and active traders are moving liquidity back and forth, long-term holders are taking the opposite approach. Instead of selling or waiting, they are staking aggressively, and not for small durations. Over the last 12 months alone, more than 9.45 million ICP has been staked for the maximum 8-year term. That's not the behavior of short-term speculators. That's the behavior of people with long-term conviction. Investors who look at ICP's roadmap, technology, and mission and decide they're locking their tokens away until the next decade. This is one of the clearest signs of belief you can find in crypto. What this creates is not confusion, but two contrasting realities. You have whales and fast-moving traders treating ICP like a momentum asset, shifting tokens rapidly, almost like a game of musical chairs. Meanwhile, long-term believers are treating ICP as digital infrastructure, something to store, secure, and never touch. Historically in crypto, when conviction splits like this, you get volatility. And volatility is where the biggest losses or the biggest gains are made. Now, shifting to the technical side, a respected crypto analyst recently highlighted that ICP is forming a falling wedge on the 1-hour chart. For anyone unfamiliar, falling wedges are typically bullish structures. They show that price is consolidating into a tighter downward sloping channel, preparing for an upward breakout when the pressure builds. If ICP confirms this breakout, it could quickly rally into the $6 to $7 range. This isn't guesswork. This is a pattern that has repeated itself across markets for decades. But there's another pattern unfolding that's even more interesting. On the weekly chart, ICP has developed a very peculiar 3-candle structure. Every time the chart prints a massive green weekly candle, the candle immediately following it turns red. This has happened consistently with no exceptions. But the pattern doesn't end there. The third candle in these sequences has always pushed the price significantly higher than where the first green candle began. And right now, we have completed Candle 1 and Candle 2. Candle 3 is just beginning. If history repeats itself, this week could turn out to be unexpectedly bullish for ICP. Of course, nothing in technical analysis is guaranteed. Patterns are only reliable until the moment they fail. But when the same structure appears and plays out 3 times in a row, it becomes hard to ignore. And when you combine that with whale movement, volume spikes, and rising social engagement, the setup becomes even more compelling. Now let's talk fundamentals, because this is where ICP really separates itself from most altcoins. Many blockchains rely heavily on cloud services like Amazon Web Services or Google Cloud. Their front ends, back ends, or data storage are partially centralized, even if the marketing makes them sound decentralized. ICP takes a completely different path. The internet computer uses something called cycles, which fuel every part of an application running natively on the chain. This includes the back end, the front end, the data, and even governance mechanisms, all managed within something called a canister. A canister is like a supercharged smart contract capable of storing logic, code, and data all together. What makes this so powerful is that canisters can be upgraded while preserving their entire state. Developers can fix bugs or add features without breaking anything. Most blockchains don't allow that. Upgrading a smart contract is either nearly impossible or extremely dangerous. ICP solves this with ease, which is why developers building serious, scalable apps have started paying closer attention. This brings us to the next major signal: social activity. According to recent data, the Dfinity ecosystem, meaning ICP, is now the #1 project in the DePIN category by social interaction. That includes posts, comments, engagement, and general community conversation across all major platforms. Even more impressive, ICP ranks #3 among the most discussed altcoins overall. This isn't bot activity, it's genuine interest. And in crypto, attention is like fuel. It drives liquidity, visibility, and eventually price discovery. Adding to the momentum, ICP's transfer volume recently surged. Transfer volume means tokens moving from wallet to wallet, not specifically to exchanges. When this metric spikes, it typically signals either accumulation or distribution. But with long-term holders continuing to stake aggressively, accumulation becomes the more likely interpretation. Some analysts have compared ICP's current price structure to Filecoin, suggesting both are infrastructure-driven projects following similar trajectories. If ICP mirrors the kind of movement Filecoin experienced during its breakouts, multiple levels of resistance may fall faster than people expect. And looking at the macro structure, ICP recently tapped the bottom of its long-term descending wedge. If it holds that level, or even dips slightly before bouncing, it could signal a major reversal forming right under everyone's nose. All of this leads us to one conclusion: ICP is sitting at an extremely important moment. Whales are moving large amounts of supply, traders are reacting quickly, long-term holders are locking up tokens at record levels. A consistent three-candle pattern is unfolding. A bullish falling wedge is forming on lower timeframes. The project's utility is unmatched. The social activity is exploding, and the macro structure suggests a reversal could be developing. Does this guarantee a move to $50, $100, or more? No, nothing in crypto is guaranteed. But the setup, the data, the alignment, they're all real. And if Bitcoin enters a strong rally phase in the coming months, historically, the altcoins with the strongest fundamentals, highest adoption, and deepest communities move harder than the rest. ICP checks all three boxes. So to wrap everything up, ICP is experiencing an unusual combination of whale accumulation, long-term staking, high transfer activity, and rising social engagement. Technical patterns on both the hourly and weekly charts point toward potential upside if history repeats. Its fundamental architecture, canisters, cycles, and native hosting without AWS, puts it far ahead of most chains when it comes to real decentralization and real utility. And with the macro structure showing signs of a potential reversal, ICP might be positioning itself for a major move when the broader market shifts. So, what do you think about ICP's current position? Are you bullish on its growth in AI and DeFi? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you found value in this deep dive, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more breakdowns like this. Thanks for watching. Stay curious, stay cautious, and I'll catch you in the next one.